Whew. What's up, YouTube? It's Trevor with High Desert Tactical. I hope you're doing okay and things are well in your home, in your town, and where you're at with all the BS that's going on with the old Coronacopolis. Coronapocalypse. I don't know. So I pulled out my 1911 today because I just kind of felt like looking at it. Oh, and I switched out my retaining spring strap or retainer with a tooled, like an aluminum tooled one. And so I figured, well, I got the thing apart, so I'm going to clean it. And come to find out, I shot it like 2 years ago and never cleaned it. And so, like, I am a terrible person. But that got me to thinking about a story that I really wanted to talk about and share with you, especially about the tools that we use for self-defense or home defense. And the reason why I'm using the term tools versus firearms or guns or whatever is because not everybody uses a firearm for self-defense or home defense. But this process or thought process that I'm going to talk about applies to all situations. And it basically starts around a story that this got me thinking about. Is I have an XDS 45, and if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that's like my main go-to concealed carry. And I've had it for many years, probably 6 years, and I had it for a few years at one time, and I would shoot it regularly and clean it like we always do. I know that there's a few of us out there that might shoot a gun like a 1911 and throw it in a box and not care and only clean it when it stops shooting, which may not ever happen. But when it comes to like your concealed carry or self-defense tool or preferred use, you want to take care of it. And so you shoot it, you clean it, you maintenance it, you make sure it's working when you put it away. Well, I had a chance where a friend of mine wanted to shoot my XDS because he was thinking about buying one, and this is a couple years into owning mine. And I was like, sure, let's go shoot it. And so we go out and shoot, and we had a couple other guns to shoot. And then we get to the point where he's like, let's shoot the XDS. And so my XDS was clean. I pulled out my I unloaded my self-defense rounds. I think I used Hydroshocks at the time, Hornady Hydroshocks. I think that Hornady or Critical Defense, Hornady to critical Defense. And then I put Winchester white box in. So he goes, he racks around, and click. I'm like, what the heck, man? It's got to be that cheap Winchester white box stuff. I've never really had problems with it, but you know, people make fun of that. And so he racks another round. I inspected the round that didn't fire. It had a primer strike on it, but it didn't look as prominent as it could, but I was like, oh, it's got to be the ammunition. Racks around, click. Racks another round, click. Well, you know, long story short, the XDS did not win my friend's confidence in any way. So I took the thing home, drove home, ashamed of myself. He kind of teased me, thought I didn't take care of it. It was clean, but this is the tricky kind of part of the story is I got home, I pulled it apart. Everything was like as the way it should have been from being a cleaned gun. It has never been fired since that time when he went to try to shoot it since cleaning. But I pulled the slide apart and I pulled the pin out of it, and I realized, or I noticed that the pin was, I use a really light oil on them, but I just barely like touch it. But I did notice that there was a ton of debris, like lint and fine debris in the firing pin like chamber slide area. And the only thing I could think of is that it was slowing the pin down and not allowing that momentum to strike. It didn't get enough momentum to strike. Well, clean the gun. I used a cherry bomb lube on it, and that worked. That's like what I use now, and it shot. And so it was definitely an issue with me where I should have like maintenanced my firearm or something. But the point of what I'm getting at is you may have something that you count on, but you never really use it every day because it's not like we walk around just shooting a gun and then cleaning it. But the thing is you need to like check it routinely, even if you're not using it, and make sure that it's up to 100%. And that's where we get into the whole tool situation where like there are people in the world that don't use firearms for self-defense, but do have the responsibility for themselves and the knowledge, and they're not naive and believe that the world is like all full of bubblegum and butterflies. And so they have tasers and pepper spray, Kubotans. That's like one of my favorite hand protection devices, I guess. I'm not sure. Look up Kubotan, watch some demonstrations. They're really cool, and you can use them pretty much anywhere in the world from what I understand. So if you have pepper spray, a lot of people are going to either agree or disagree with me on this, but if the pepper spray is expired, you should probably get new pepper spray because working in the sporting goods industry and, working with vendors and stuff, and they would explain to me why like expired pepper spray is like a very important thing to pay attention to, is that the pepper spray, the capsaicin and like the stabilizers that they use in the liquid that's in those cans, like degrades over time and can congeal and things like that, and it makes them not function at 100% or spray as far or particulate or create a stream that they like that's as effective and accurate. Like I did notice that I was talking to somebody, they were telling me about how they were trying to use pepper spray just to try it. They had an expired bottle, and so they wanted to spray it to see what happened, and it was a bear spray bottle, and they're supposed to spray like so many odd feet. Well, when he went to spray it, instead of spraying a stream like it's supposed to, it kind of like it was bad. It didn't spray like a stream. It like broke apart and basically like cutting the distance that it would spray in half, where, in a situation, if you had a bear charging you, that's like precious seconds for you. You have a taser. You want to make sure the batteries are charged or it's functioning properly. You don't want to run into a situation where you need it and it doesn't work. For me, I have to count my blessings, because if I wouldn't have gone out and shot with my friend, and odds are I probably wouldn't have just shot my XDS some other time for fun, and God forbid something happened where I needed it, I would have been in big trouble. I would have probably ended up throwing it at him instead of, actually using it like it's supposed to. So the whole point of this video is to share with you guys that it's important to take care of the tools that we use in order to protect ourselves, and don't become complacent and just assume that they're going to work because you haven't used it since the last time you used it and you took care of it after that time, if that even makes any sense. So like after cleaning this 1911 and like getting her back together, I'm going to start making sure that my XDS is, checked at least once a month. My Winchester SXP shotgun that I use for home is checked at least once a month, and make sure that everything's the way it should be, as best at its ability, so I have the best chance of being able to protect myself and my family. So that's the end of that story, and I hope that you guys are doing okay, and we are going to get through this craziness that's going on. I appreciate each and every one of you, even the ones that hate everything about my videos. If it wasn't for you guys, there wouldn't be anything to talk about or for me to lose sleep over. Other than that, you guys take care, be safe, and I will catch you later.